Robert Gabriel Mugabe was born on February 21, 1924, in Kutama, southern Rhodesia, a British colony. His father, Gabriel Matabele, was a carpenter, while his mother, Bona, was a devout Catholic who instilled in him a strong sense of discipline and ambition. Mugabe excelled at the local mission school, earning recognition and scholarships. This access to education set him apart from many of his peers and laid the foundation for his future political consciousness. Mugabe continued his education at Kutama College, a prestigious Jesuit institution, where he immersed himself in literature, philosophy, and history. His Jesuit education, with its emphasis on social justice and critical thinking, profoundly influenced his worldview. Mugabe's time at Kutama coincided with growing African nationalism, and he became increasingly aware of the injustices faced by Black Africans under colonial rule. Seeking further education, Mugabe moved to South Africa, where he attended the University of Fort Hare, encountering prominent African intellectuals and future leaders. He earned a Bachelor of Education degree in 1954, further solidifying his commitment to education as a tool for social change. Mugabe's time in Ghana, a newly independent nation led by Kwame Nkrumah, further ignited his passion for African liberation and self-determination. Mugabe's return to southern Rhodesia in 1960 coincided with heightened political tension. The white minority government, led by Ian Smith, refused to grant majority rule, fueling unrest among the Black African population. Inspired by independence movements, Mugabe joined ZAPU in 1961. Mugabe quickly rose through the ranks, earning recognition as a key figure. He became a vocal critic of the Smith regime, advocating for majority rule. His fiery speeches galvanized support among the Black African population. Ideological differences led to a split in 1963, with Mugabe founding ZANU. ZANU, under Mugabe, adopted a militant approach for independence. In 1964, Mugabe was arrested by the Smith regime. He spent 11 years imprisoned, enduring harsh conditions, but remained unbroken. Mugabe's imprisonment coincided with the intensification of the armed struggle in Rhodesia. ZANU's military wing, ZANLA, waged a guerrilla war against the Smith regime, gaining control of rural areas. The war and international pressure weakened the Smith regime, paving the way for a settlement. In 1974, under pressure, the Smith regime released Mugabe and other political prisoners. Mugabe went into exile in Mozambique, assuming leadership of ZANU. His charisma and determination remained, and he reasserted his authority over the party. The Lancaster House Agreement in 1979 paved the way for a ceasefire and an independent Zimbabwe. Mugabe returned to a hero's welcome, symbolizing hope and liberation. In the 1980 elections, ZANU-PF won a landslide victory, ushering in a new era for Zimbabwe. Mugabe's ascension marked the end of white minority rule and the birth of an independent Zimbabwe. The early years of Mugabe's rule were marked by cautious optimism. He pledged reconciliation with the white minority, urging them to stay and contribute to the new Zimbabwe. Mugabe's government implemented policies aimed at addressing the social and economic inequalities inherited from the colonial era. Education and healthcare were prioritized, and significant strides were made in expanding access to these essential services for the Black African population. Mugabe's government also embarked on an ambitious land reform program aimed at redistributing land from white commercial farmers to landless Black Zimbabweans. The initial phase of land reform, carried out in the 1980s, was relatively orderly and resulted in the resettlement of thousands of Black families. Economically, Zimbabwe experienced a period of relative prosperity in the 1980s. Mugabe's government pursued pragmatic economic policies, attracting foreign investment and promoting economic growth. The agricultural sector, the backbone of the Zimbabwean economy, flourished, with tobacco, cotton, and other cash crops generating significant export earnings. However, beneath the surface of this apparent progress, cracks were beginning to appear.